At 750 tokens per second, GPT-5.6 Ultrafast can spit out a full screen of text before your cursor even blinks, but the real question is whether that speed changes anything you build. OpenAI says this new ultrafast tier for GPT-5.6 Sol, powered by Cerebras, is up to 14 times faster than their standard frontier deployments, yet it is only in limited preview for select customers. So today we are going to time it. We will script a realistic workflow, compare ultrafast to a baseline Sol deployment, and see where that 14x speedup actually shows up and where it is just bragging rights. According to OpenAI's own preview, ultrafast is meant for mission-critical, time-sensitive workloads, not everyday API calls, which means if you are a normal builder, you may never even see this tier. Here is the test. We will generate a long, structured response. Think a multi-section report with code and measure tokens per second on a normal GPT-5.6 Sol endpoint versus ultrafast. Cerebras and OpenAI both peg ultrafast at up to 750 output tokens every second, which is roughly a full page in under a tenth of a second, while the baseline Sol deployment would sit near 54 tokens per second. This is not just about wow factor. At 53 tokens per second, a 200 token answer takes around 38 seconds to stream. At 750 tokens per second, the same answer appears in under 3 seconds. Let us run our benchmark so you can see how that feels, not just on a marketing slide, but on the actual API wire. In a UI, that difference feels huge. Ultrafast streams a dense doc practically instantly, while baseline Sol is still typing, which matters if your product lives or dies on perceived snappiness. But here is the catch. For many tools, most latency is not the model. It is your database, your network, your own code, so shaving 30 seconds down to 2 only helps if everything else is ready for that pace. OpenAI's write-up frames ultrafast as a new speed class for plugging frontier models into their most demanding workflows, things like trading, operations, or live copilots, not for every chatbot on the internet. That is why early access is focused on organizations with time-sensitive, mission-critical workloads, according to reports about GPT-5.6 Sol being gated for government and similar customers. Cerebras highlights this as a showcase for their hardware, running OpenAI's largest models with ultra-low latency, which tells you this tier is tightly tied to specific racks, not a setting you just flip on in any region. So, how do you decide if ultrafast is worth chasing? Ask one question: does your product suffer when responses take 5 to 10 seconds, or does the user naturally pause there anyway? If you are running high-frequency decisions, live copilots and tools like IDs or customer support that needs to feel like a human typing fast, ultrafast latency can change what you design, not just how it feels. If you are building batch jobs, long-form content tools, or back-office workflows, normal GPT-5.6 Sol is already fast enough, and your effort is better spent on prompts, catching, and UX instead of chasing exotic capacity. The takeaway is this: 750 tokens per second is real, and it is wild, but it only changes your life if latency is already your bottleneck. Measure your stack first, then decide if you actually need frontier speed. If you want more honest breakdowns like this with one real test on a new AI feature every week, subscribe so you see the next one before you ship your next product decision.